I'm doing it probably a month out constantly for at least half an hour.
At least half an hour.
Yeah.
And have you got any tips for anyone that's actually, because it is a very important part of the actual being on stage. So what would you say, what advice would you give to someone that's actually preparing, their own posing?
First of all, if you don't know how to pose, I'd definitely be seeking advice. When it comes to your posing music and things like that, I would be looking at your posing music and that probably a month out from the show. So therefore, in your own time, you can, think about the music, think about the pose you're going to pose to and things like that. So it's also going to help you harden your body up, as people say. And it's going to make you obviously know what you're going to do when you step on stage. Not only that, it's going to help you when you actually step on stage and people are judging, going, okay, this guy's know how to pose. He looks quite good.
Talk about last year's WFF Universe in Austria. Now, it's an amazing experience to be able to compete on the other side of the world. Tell us how you felt leading up to the competition and how you felt after you won.
Leading up to the competition, I felt so nervous. It's a different league, competing down here to competing overseas. You don't know who you're going to be up against and what type of condition other competitors are going to be in. So that was a bit daunting for me. All I can do is bring my best package. So I was stressing about it a lot. I was pushing myself a little bit harder than normal to get where I want to be, even though I was already there. I was trying to do a little bit more to make sure that my condition was really good. When I got there, there's not a lot of people around, especially with the Australian team. There's only a selected few, so everyone's doing their own thing. So you don't sort of get to see how they're going or talk to anyone. It's pretty mellow. So I was nervous, but the nervousness stopped after I got categorised. Once I got categorised, I was happy. I'm like, all right, well, the hardest part's over. Now it's just time to get ready, and you can't do anything from here. It's just go out there and give it your all and see what happens.
Now, how did you prepare for it? Because flying to Austria, it is nearly a 24-hour flight. You would have been dehydrated. You were dieting prior to the flight. How did you prepare for that? And for example, on the plane, what did you do differently than what you would do for a normal comp in Australia?
Okay, so what I basically did is when I flew overseas, I got in touch with my airline first of all to make sure that we can actually bring food on plane. I froze all my foods, so therefore I would have meals. So throughout the flight they would thaw out, then I could eat my chicken breast as I go along. I was drinking plenty of water on the plane as well, so I was making sure that I was hydrated. As everyone knows, when you're on a plane you dehydrate. And then when I'm over there, it's first thing to do is trying to get yourself to a supermarket to make sure you do the small things and not eating the wrong things, especially in the last week of the contest. So it's quite hard in that aspect, but as long as you can do those small things that you implement down here, it's no different to going overseas carrying them aboard.
Okay. And how did it feel going up against guys from all over the world?
It's daunting, it's scary, but it's a lot of fun at the same time, especially seeing people from different countries. You don't know what they're like. They don't speak much English, so it's very hard to understand what they're saying, and they're laughing and this and that. You don't know if they're laughing at you or anything like that, but it's a good experience. They're friendly, and like I said, once you're up on stage, it's like you can't do anything about it. It's out of your control, but it's a good experience nevertheless.
And tell us about the moment when you won.
To be honest, it was quite a shock, because the way the universe is they judge you, and after all that, they announce the winners right at the end of the show, so they don't announce it after your category. So when they called my class on stage, I was looking at everyone in the lineup and going, okay, this is going to be interesting, and you just put your head down because you don't know who's going to be called out. But then when I did get caught out, it was a very, very big shock. I was quite surprised, to be honest. I pretty much dropped to the ground in tears because I didn't know how to take it.
Did you take many family members over? Or?
No, that's the thing. You can't take any... Well, you can take people over, but it does get expensive to take them over. So I had sort of no one to celebrate with, and half the Australian team already went home, so it was quite frustrating in that regard, but
still a great
experience. Yeah, can't take that away.
So what did you learn from it? What do you think you learned mostly from that experience?
What I learnt is that you don't have to be the biggest guy out there to win. It's just you've got to hold yourself up high when you step on stage, and just go out there and give it your all, because if you look like you want it, the judges will see that, and it can be yours. So don't get shy just because there's someone bigger out there than you. The smallest guy, if they got a decent package, well, anything can happen. So yeah.
Now you won, but is there any other area that you think you want to improve on, or did you feel that you had a weak point or anything like that? Or
I've got a few weak points. My biggest weak point, I'd say, would be my legs. I'd like to get them more conditioned, but that's something I'll be working on this year to try and make sure that they are more conditioned by doing things a little bit differently, incorporating a few more reps in certain things, making sure with my cardio it's a lot more, I suppose, climbing than walking. So the other thing is my back. I want to get my lats a little bit lower, so just small things, trying to really bring out exercise which is going to expand and drop them down a little bit as well.
So have they been the two areas that you've focused on between that comp and this one now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and have you felt that you've really improved on those areas?
I think I've made gains and I've made improvements. So what I see, it might not be what someone else sees. So until, I guess, in the next 5 weeks, when I'm really 100% ready, then I'll be able to tell if I've really conditioned pretty well, and I've worked on my weak points, I guess.
And with the methods that you were going to use to improve it, such as walking uphill, have you felt that it has been effective?
So far now I can see improvements, so I think it's been effective for me. But like I said, it's a long process still. So I see gains, and I see myself the weak points improving. So that's a bonus for me so far.
Thank you very much, Robert. Good luck in 5 weeks' time, and hopefully you come out a champion again. And is there any other final things that you'd like to
add? For anyone who's starting bodybuilding, just stay positive, stay focused, and do the 1%ers. Results do happen, they just take a little bit of time, so stay consistent and you'll get there.
Excellent. So we'll keep you posted on Robert's progress, and thank you very much.